We're ready for our next contest here at the Schoberg Flynn Arena at St. Thomas Academy, all part of the Twin Cities Thanksgiving tip-off. We have last year's Class 4A state champions, St. Michael-Albertville Knights, and a dark horse that is still looking for their first ever state tournament appearance, the Eastridge Raptors. They meet here at St. Thomas Academy. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel with you. Alex, the story for Eastridge has been oh so close. Last 3 years, they have reached the section final. All 3 times they came up short. The section path, not much easier this year with Roseville making the move over to 4, but with Vienna Murray transferring to Eastridge, that gives the Raptors a perimeter option.
Well, and I think Ashley Ellis-Milan, the head coach at Eastridge, will welcome that addition of Vienna Murray coming over to help the Raptors. I mean, that's something, you know, when you're looking to make that next big step, and that would be getting past that regional final and into the big dance, you know, that can only help. You know, meanwhile, you know, here you are, Kent Hamry and STMA, you're king of the mountain, you're trying to defend your state title, and, you know, it's got to be, I mean, it's been a while since they've done that, Mike.
Well, the last time they won it was 2009. I'd say that path to defending it will be a complicated one because the architect, one of them, Tessa Johnson, is now at South Carolina. And she's feeling right at home there, South Carolina, with the early jump on everybody. But they do have Jacayla Kraft is going to Seton Hall. Abby Hoselton and Cail Jahnke getting some looks already, so it's not as if St. Michael-Albertville.
It's not like the cupboard's bare there.
No, but this will be our first look at what they look like without Tessa Johnson.
Yeah, it's going to be a new team.
Who
a new look.
Only managed to score 51 points in a game last season, the all-time leading scorer at STMA. And what a great story for her. What a way to go out. One missed basketball.
That state championship game last year was truly one of the best games, well-played games on both sides that I've ever seen. It was just breathtaking.
But Jahnke, 7.4 points per game last year. Jacayla Kraft, 16.6. Abby Hoselton, Ava House, 8.9. So a lot of experience coming back. I'll be curious to see who takes over the leadership mantle. I would think maybe Kraft. She showcased a lot of growth and evolution last year. When she first came to STMA as a sophomore, she was just a three-point shooter primarily. Since then, and between her STMA games and her work with Metro Stars, Matt Pryor, her head coach there, and he's in attendance. He also is the assistant athletic director now at St. Thomas Academy. But I would think Jacayla Kraft would be in position.
Well, you would think with her being a senior as well, that's who you would think that Kent Hamry would prefer stepping up and being in that leadership role.
And for Eastridge, I'm curious to see what they look like. Again, they were expected to be younger, not as much experience, but you bring over a player like Murray, who is a great perimeter sharpshooter, coming over from a team that frankly struggled. Tartan, it's been slim pickings for a long time there. We've seen this from time to time, Alex, where top players start at one team, make a move to another, and thrive. Kendall McGee, for example, she was the leading scorer at Breck. Folks thought she might have trouble blending in at Benilde St. Margaret's, and that worked out pretty well last year. Addie Mack as well. It's Eastridge who gets the ball, and the three from Jada Otu offline. Bella Sane got the rebound but threw it away. This is Abby Hoselton, who can't complete the transition look. And the rebound picked up by the aforementioned Vienna Murray. Lanny Holmes. Some graduates from last year include Emily Christensen and Grace Knupp. With Eastridge, it's been this way when they've been competitive, as Sane had the ball deflected so she can retrieve it. Holmes out to Sane. I'll finish that statement in a moment. 7 to shoot. Murray, we know she can fire. Shot blocked. Eastridge, did that get off in time? It did not. But with Eastridge, Alex, whether it was a few years ago with Mariah Sexy, Kellen Connell, and Noelle Tomes, or now with Sane, Christensen up the last couple of years, Eastridge, they've never had headline-grabbing players, but they do well. St. Michael-Albertville's 3 is long. They've always performed well. They've just never been able to get a section title and get that elusive state tournament appearance. Here's Kraft. Can't bank in the 3, but we know she can light it up beyond the arc. Hit in quite nicely. Eastridge with the touch 3. Off the back iron. Rebound, Cail Jahnke. STMA playing in this event for the first time and finding a hole to slice through was Abby Hoselton. Is one of the returning leaders. Again, averaged 8.9 a game last year. Traveling call on Jada Otu.
O2 took an extra step there, a little extra hop.
Alex, STMA already accustomed to a shot clock though, because they're part of the Lake Conference. The Lake electing to implement the shot clock a year early. Side fade, 3 ball, short this time for Kraft. Rebound Sane. O2. Looking for help. Finds it in Clower. Sane with a little push off. 3 from the key. Clower drills it.
Some sharp shooting by Clower there.
Kraft trying to slash. Can't do it. But she had help in the form of number 1, Jahnke, who averaged 7.4 a game last year.
It's going to be interesting to see Jahnke, how she grows her game. Slender sophomore. Got a lot of potential, that's for sure.
4-3 in the early going. Eastridge looking to go high-low, but the pass was off target. Now STMA on the run. It's Hoselton in transition. 6-3. I did talk to Kevin Anderson when I arrived. He thought someone's got to work on the clock. It's been rolling since the start. There we go. But he thought Minnetonka would be the favorite to win in Class 4A. He said it would be somebody from the Lake. My glimpse, without the breakdown book to help me, was also Minnetonka, but I think it's wide open enough that I could see STMA making a run again. Hopkins, they got Ava Cupido from Minnehaha Academy, and don't count out Wyzetta. They're always loaded.
You'd have to think that STMA will at the very least be in the conversation.
STMA has a favorable section being an 8, so getting to the tournament shouldn't be too much trouble. But time will tell. Here's a 3 from the corner. Clower cannot connect this time. Sane racing for the offensive rebound. She is one of those role players who always brings it. I admired her game as a sophomore. Clower missing another 3 from the wing. I don't know where Sane's future holds, but she's one of those players that is a positive influence. Here's to Kayla Kraft, still looking for that first 3-pointer. Jahnke with the O-board. And remember, the shot clock resets to 20 on offensive rebounds. House. Out to Jahnke. 5 on the shot clock. Jahnke spots it, but she was cut off. Another rebound for Sane. Lobs it to Murray. Wow. Off balance.
I tell you what, just a great job getting that. She was in an awkward position putting up that shot. Nice finish by Jahnke on the other end.
St. Michael-Albertville shows how it's done. Jahnke with 4, Hoselton with 4, and Kraft with a couple of dimes. Clower in the lane. Fadeaway. Yes.
Nice finish by Clower. They're down low in the paint with some bodies on her.
Kraft with the driving kick. Cox didn't see anything.
Kick ball again.
And it will be STMA ball. With that state title last year, Ken Hamry and STMA as a whole became the first school to win a state championship in 3 classes. They won it in 2001 in 2A, 2009 in 3A, if you remember that comeback bid they made against Minneapolis North. And then hanging on against Hopkins. Here's a 3. Off the back iron, rebound Clower. And did they hang on? Hopkins, I think, got back within 1, but ran out of time. 3 ball.
Ooh.
In and out. Those 3s have rattled out for everybody today. And a dead ball rebound to Eastridge.
Mike, I'm sure you've already noticed, but this game appears to be something of the battle of pink shoes.
There are a lot of pink shoes. A couple players going off color. Eastridge, they're all in sync. I'm looking at their bench, yes. Even Ashley Ellis-Milan, I think, has some pink accents on her kicks.
Yeah.
STMA, not quite as uniform, but I won't hold it against them.
I like those. Those are pretty good-looking shoes.
STMA ball, they lead 8-5. Again, the first game without Tessa Johnson. Clower comes up with the steal. Bounce pass to Murray. Looking for shooting space. Tried the step back move. Jahnke didn't buy it. Sane lost the handle.
Sane denied twice now, trying to make drives and finishes.
Here's Kraft. She started her varsity career at Farmington before making the move to St. Michael-Albertville. I would call her the resident goofball of the team, and I'll explain as she connects on her first 3-pointer.
Well, sir, no goofiness about that shot.
Well, no, her 3-point shot isn't, but she likes to have fun at everyone's expense. No one is safe. I did a game last year against Maple Grove. STMA won it. I brought Tessa and Jaquela for a post-game chat as we get a drive, and free throws coming for Kalia Tagasolo-Wilkes, if I'm saying it correctly. Well, I'll finish that in a moment.
Sophomore.
Her first year on varsity.
I think we were pretty close. Probably better than what I would have done.
Well, if I'm not, I know Ashley and the Eastridge crew will watch this and send me a pronunciation guide. It's tough because, again, our last game ran long, so it was a quick out. We got to get ready for this one. Not a whole lot of time in between. But one of the new faces for Eastridge, a team that, again, has been to the section final seemingly forever and has yet to break through. Deja Simmons out there, number 11. I believe she started with the Park Center program. Cox out to Simmons. High-low play, and posting up is Hoselton. Abby's got 6. It's 13-7. St. Michael-Albertville over Eastridge. Whoa.
Clower lost her footing there. Great recovery, though.
Sane too strong.
There's some contact down there too.
Rough start for the senior. Kraft flips it in. 15-7. Pass into the high post, deflected and swiped by Hoselton, who goes on another trip to the rim. Hoselton with some immense production down low in the early going.
And Ashley Ellis smiling, telling her team to calm down, slow it down.
And this is where I feel experience is favoring St. Michael-Albertville. Most of these players are from last year's state tournament team. Eastridge having to incorporate a lot of new faces. And that can make a difference in the first game of the year.
And right now, not much going right for the Raptors as they turn the ball over on another empty possession.
Cail Jahnke back into the Knights lineup.
Here's Kraft with the rock, the lefty on the attack. Eastridge ball. So Kraft, that post-game interview, you know this, Alex, when I have time for them, I'll say, you want to say hi to anybody? Tessa went, hey friends, and Jaquela quipped, what friends? And then Liv McGill, who was
walking. That's good.
Yes. And then Liv McGill chimed in and was on Jaquela's side. I was trying to stand up for Tessa, and oh, those two had some fun with it. I think Tessa has plenty of friends, and she's making a few down at South Carolina, given their start. 7 on the shot clock for Eastridge. This is Clower. The fadeaway off the back iron. And we'll have a foul on Eastridge.
You know, a lot of people I don't think truly appreciate what an incredibly big step it is to make from the high school to the college level. And somebody who's doing it as well as Tessa Johnson is nothing short of remarkable. And
not just any college, the current #1 team.
Exactly.
The first month of the season has been anything but predictable. LSU went down first game of the year to Colorado.
My alma mater went down to K-State right there.
Well, Aoka Lee was healthy, though. You bring a healthy Aoka Lee to the mix.
Yeah.
She doesn't fool around.
No. And K-State is not going to be a team that you're going to want to face later on in the season.
Jahnke is fouled. She'll shoot 2. Had 7.4 points per game last year. NC State took out UConn.
Yep.
They were unranked, like K-State was when they beat Iowa.
As Michael Corleone said in The Godfather Part 3, then nobody is safe.
Jahnke missing both free throws. And you know what, Alex? I feel that way about 4A.
Yeah.
Where Kevin Anderson and I agreed that the Lake Conference, someone from the Lake is probably going to win it all. We just don't know. We don't know who. There isn't a runaway favorite like there had been in past years.
Right.
The only class where I feel confident is 2A in terms of picking a winner. As Eastridge harassed again, Murray has to fire a deep shot. STMA playing some solid defense, but that's a little long. Well, Alex, St. Michael-Albertville has locked in defensively, forcing Eastridge into some tough situations late in the shot clock.
Their length is really causing Eastridge some problems in the half-court offense.
And that will be enough for Ashley Ellis-Milan to take a timeout. Ashley, she has been head coach at Eastridge since the end of the COVID year, since the start of 2020, or no, her first year was the COVID year, and she has been at the helm ever since. Her first year, she had to go up against her old mentor, Willie Taylor, in a section final that went to overtime. Willie then left and took the job at St. Paul Academy. How about that? Your first year coaching, and you got to go up against the coach who worked with you in high school.
That's kind of an arrangement situation you don't see happen very often. But I mean, it's one of these times you have to figure that East Ridge is going to get over the top. It's just a matter of when, I think.
They have a chance. Of course, her posse is here. Her best friend, Tanisha Scott, who's the coach at Roseville. They're always in attendance when they don't have games of their own. Roseville's in their section now. I can only imagine what that rivalry is going to be like. Because we talked about how silly.
You talk about a spoiler. You look at somebody like Roseville that's knocked off Park Center before.
And they knocked off Maple Grove twice. In 5. Well, and Tanisha and Ashley, when those two are together, those two, they are not afraid to poke fun at themselves either.
Yeah.
So I could only imagine what the smack talk might be like beforehand, but Danielle Ellison, who was part of her staff, she now works at not US Bank, AT&T Stadium, part of the Cowboys organization, or did for a time, and Sadika Jihad, I think, was part of that too. But Danielle Ellison's here, and Ashley, she always brings a crowd of supporters. Let's see what they can do following the timeout. That 3 from Taylor Clower, short.
I tell you what, you're not going to get much more open look than that, and those are the kind of looks that you got to knock down.
Here's the thing, I wonder with Eastridge struggling early inside if they feel like they're just hanging out more on the outside.
That may be, but again, if you're going to have things loosened up on the inside, you got to start knocking those 3-point opportunities down.
Touch 3 off the inbound. That rattles out. Eva House out to Jahnke. Kraft trying to lose 0-2 for that 3-pointer. And will be called for the offensive foul. Number 40, Amelia Ecker, got herself set in time.
Well, let's see if that provides any spark for the Raptors, who are in desperate search of some sort of spark offensively.
Murray off the screen. Rebound will go to STMA on the dead ball. And STMA, remember, it's crazy to think about how that 4A title went down. It looked like they were going to run away with it. Hopkins couldn't hit anything. And there were a few who said about 20 more seconds and they would have been biting off all their fingernails. Hopkins made a furious rally, just ran out of time.
It was one of the most uncanny just second halves alone that you'll ever see.
Foul on Eckert, so free. No, nobody's in the penalty yet. Well, Kevin Anderson, and he's been next to us here charting games today.
Yeah.
He puts it this way. The teams that win the tournament, as Kraft finds Hoselton, who will go to the line, the teams that win the tournament can survive a bad half. Hopkins couldn't survive theirs. Another point, and I've used this,
and
when you
still
shoot,
almost brought it all the way back.
Well, here's the thing. When you shoot well, you look good. When you don't shoot well, that's when you run into trouble.
Right.
And in that first half, Hopkins, it was really bizarre to see. We'll be seeing them later tonight, and much like St. Michael-Albertville, I wouldn't say there's questions on the validity of the team, but there are a lot of unknowns. STMA, how do you move forward without the bona fide leader that was Tessa Johnson, as Hoselton makes both free throws?
Again, it's not only, what she brought on the court, but that leadership. I mean, there's a vacuum there, obviously.
Hopkins, same thing. For the first time in a long time, they don't have high-caliber D1 players that are apparent right away. They could become apparent over time. 5:18 left in the first half. STMA leads Eastridge 19-7. As Eastridge tries to get out of this funk, Sane saw a lane open up and says, "I'll take it. Thank you very much." Isabella.
Sane finally breaks her bit of a cold streak that she had early on in this game.
Sane, 13.5 points per game last year. Her uncle is Tony Sané, who you may know with the Sané Foundation and all the charitable work they do. And naturally, Bella has participated in several of those initiatives. Completes the three-point play. Jahnke drains the baseline runner.
Graceful move there by Jahnke. Nice little drive and stop and pop. Got her to go down.
(21-10).
Next foul, number 10, Haley Wallman, her first, team's fifth.
0-2. Used up the dribble. Sané, kick out. 0-2 from the key. 3 short. Hoselton with the rebound. Swarmed, finds help in-house. Kaylee Cox. Too strong on the slash. Yeah, yep. Well, that's Jason McGee, Kendall's father, and he's been doing officiating for a long time. Was right there, and when I saw Sydney drag her feet, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hear a whistle. We're going to hear a whistle, sure enough.
Yep.
It happens to the best of us, though.
Yep.
In my case, I would just fall flat on my face, and everyone would laugh at me. So I would get run out of the building, but yeah, again, it happens. Just got to shake it off and push forward. St. Michael-Albertville throws it away. Flower, driving kick, 3 from the wing, Holmes short. Hoselton draws the foul, and that's the last to give for Eastridge with 3:41 left on the first half clock.
Characters foul number 5, Sydney Flower, her first, team 6.
Jahnke, mid-range, flanking off the back iron. Another rebound for Sané. Can Eastridge land a shot or two? Murray tried to do that on the step-back move. Rebound will be trailed by Jahnke. Lining up the 3 is House. And she airballs it. Deja Simmons with the rebound. Cox backs off. House again. Jahnke. Simmons. Back to Hoselton. Through the hole.
Oh,
that did everything but go in. And that's what I call the double whammy. You have your double jeopardy. I have double whammy. You miss the bucket, and then you foul 80 feet away from your bucket.
Well, so far, Mike, the Raptors have relied, or at least tried to rely, on three-point shooting. It has not paid off for them yet.
Getting 1 or 2 to drop would open up the inside game.
Absolutely.
They've tried to get in there. It hasn't worked out as they go back out to the perimeter again. They do have a 3-point threat.
Here we go
Murray.
again.
And another one clinks off the iron. And now we'll have free throws. With Eva House getting bumped.
Foul on number 23, Eva House. Her second. Team 7.
Ecker shooting 1 and 1. Nothing there. But a dead ball rebound to the Raptors.
Jared Kraft re-enters the Knights lineup.
Inbounding it is Murray. Sane. Kick out to Clower, who finally connects on a three. Well, that's her second, but if you're Eastridge, you're probably telling yourself finally.
I tell you what, she's not shy from behind that three-point line. And if she gets hot, look out.
Cox. Hoselton thought about it. Now they're going to try to work their way inside. I saw number 24, Ella Erickson, try to run a give and go. Jahnke wasn't able to spot her, but the double team might have blocked her vision. Just inside for two.
I tell you what.
Jahnke, those are the kinds of shots that can frustrate coaches, but if they go in, that's what counts.
Jahnke, she has a pretty touch.
Then a
her
steal
jump shots.
And a foul drawn by Hoselton. So Jaquela Kraft, she's got 5 points, but I think she's got 3 or 4 assists as well. Ecker picking up her second foul. 1:32 left in the first half. We're running a little behind schedule.
Kraft will come out for a breather.
A pedestrian start for her, but again, she has several assists. And it's not just scoring. We often talk about it because in some cases that's the only data we have available on the Hub or Max Preps, but there's a lot more to it. Abby Hoselton with a torrid start. Splits at the line there, but she's got 11. Eastridge lines up another three. Wow. Pure. This time it's Taylor Clower. Let's see what that does for Eastridge's confidence. Sometimes all you need is to see that bucket go in the hole. STMA wants a three. That rins out. Sane, long skip. Too long. And a push foul's called. Free throw's coming.
Foul on Lanning Holmes, her first. Team's 8.
Well, you have to think, Mike, that if Eastridge can get this down to single digits here at the halftime break, which they have now, that'll give them something of a boost considering their shooting woes that have plagued them most of this first half.
1-1 and an empty possession for St. Michael-Albertville. This is Sane trying to laser skip. Deflected, it will stay with Eastridge. 51.7. They did get a couple of threes to drop. Sane tries the post-up move. Wow. Hoselton right on top of her. She sprints down court and takes it all the way.
She doesn't get nearly the credit that she deserves.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical, so Eastridge can hold for the last shot. Having trouble with the entry pass. St. Michael-Albertville on top of it, but they do find Clower for three. Short. Rebound. Goes to St. Michael-Albertville. They've got time. Simmons finds Jahnke. 5 seconds. Jahnke waiting for help, looking for an option. It's Kaylee Cox, her three off the front of the rim. And that is how the first half ends. St. Michael-Albertville leads 26-16 thanks to a 13-point effort so far from Abby Hoselton.
Well, I tell you what, the Raptors so far anyway, having their problems shooting from the perimeter. And you have to think, Mike, they're probably pretty fortunate to be down by just 10 here at the halftime break.
Long way to go, though, especially with the shot clock. And if Eastridge can connect on a few more of those threes, That could open things up considerably. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Twin Cities Thanksgiving tip-off at St. Thomas Academy. STMA leads Eastridge 26-16. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. James, she's in trouble. Finds James, toss shot, it goes in! And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel back here at St. Thomas Academy. Schoberg Flynn Arena, where St. Michael-Albertville leads Eastridge 26-16. Abby Hoselton leading with 13 points. Sydney Clower leads Eastridge with 8. Alex, it may come down to what Eastridge can do from the perimeter. They got a couple of threes to drop, but that's about it.
Yeah, at some point they're going to have to find some opportunities down low, and it just hasn't happened for them yet, Mike. And sometimes you have to create some opportunities with your defense as well. They really haven't done that either yet.
Kraft for 3. Short this time. Rebound, Jahnke.
And giving up second chance points, that's another killer.
Well, Jahnke and Hoselton, they have been steering the ship for St. Michael-Albertville. You usually don't see it like this, with just 2 players contributing the points. And to be fair, Jacayla Kraft does have a few assists, but there is no one right way to win a game.
No.
Whatever it takes to get there, you'll take it. As Cox will go to the line for 2. Haley has yet to score in this one. Cox is on the board. And she'll have to settle for a split, but St. Michael-Albertville extending their advantage, and they can add to it after the steal by House. Jahnke again, 2 more.
I tell you what, keep your eye on this Jahnke. I tell you what, she's good, she's graceful, and she's got great moves and a good shooting touch.
That's the second time Sane has put herself in position for a 3-point play.
Down 15, they need some sort of a spark here. Let's see if that provides that spark here at the 16:45 mark of this second half.
No 3-point play this time, but an offensive rebound and a chance for Eastridge to really make a statement on that possession, but the 3 comes up strong. Long skip, kick out, 3-ball, corner pocket. Kaylee Cox with the first field goal. Another drive, another miss. Here is Abby Hoselton.
Oh my
goodness. Coast to coast again.
Yep. And Ashley Ellis Milan does not waste any time as STMA has doubled up on the Raptors now.
I think this game speaks to the difference in experience for the two sides.
Yeah.
Eastridge, they've been to the section final 3 years in a row, so Sweet 16 effectively. They certainly could be in the conversation in Section 4 again in 4A.
Sure.
But you look at all the new faces, including the transfer of Vienna Murray. You look at what St. Michael-Albertville has. Yeah, they have a couple new pieces as well. But you have Kraft, Jahnke, Hoselton. They were all integral pieces of that state championship team last season.
And not only with that experience when you talk about that, Mike, there's that confidence factor that comes along with that experience too that I think is paying dividends for STMA right now.
It's one of those games where it feels like the team that has more experience has the edge, and maybe that wouldn't surprise you in the first game of the season. Teams get a week and a half to practice. Some get a little more. There are a few that won't start until next week. But it's never an easy assignment when your first game of the year is
the defending state
champions who bring back a lot. As Eastridge swings it around and drill another three. Vienna Murray gets on the board.
And that's her first three of this ball game.
Her first basket overall. Now, there are some other teams that win state as we have an offensive foul. Sydney Clower got herself set up well outside the restricted zone. Again, that is still in use at the high school level. But, Alex, there are some teams, like Minneapolis South comes to mind, or others where you know this is their best shot to win state in the short term.
Yeah.
St. Michael-Albertville, not one of those teams.
Right.
Really the question mark was who was going to be the leader. And that's presuming they decide to settle on one.
Right.
You know, you don't have to have just a one-person team. Last year, we all knew Tessa Johnson was going to be the go-to. And STMA this year, they have several quality options.
You know, at the high school level, Mike, you know, when you're a program like STMA that's coming off a state title as they are, is there any of that complacency factor that might, you know, factor into this team? You know, now that you've won one, I mean, are you still as hungry as you were last year?
Only time will tell. I suspect complacency will not be an obstacle. Kraft goes to the line. One of Jacayla's talents, even though she once asserted that Tessa Johnson had no friends. She claims that she can go into any room, any setting, and make friends, make conversation with somebody. And she actually does have a lot of close friendships, even though I've been throwing quote-unquote shade on her quippiness.
You know, she does seem to have that engaging type of personality.
She does. And she, all of her Metro Stars teammates, she's close friends with Nunu Aguera, Liv. She'll have to settle for a split here. Good friends with Tessa Johnson. Those two were dance partners. So the next time she says Tessa doesn't have any friends, just go into those TikTok archives and pull it up. I assure you, Tessa had plenty of friends, and Jacayla's one of them. St. Michael-Albertville with the takeaway. Here is Hoselton, who has been feeling it on those coast-to-coast moves, but not that time. Clower, open lane, see you later. Clower with 10.
I tell you, I like that senior guard, Clower. She's got a lot of potential.
Clower is one of those meat and potatoes players as Jahnke scores another second chance bucket. Alex, Hoselton with 15, Jahnke with 14. And those two pairing up swell. In swell fashion, I should say. That's a 3-second call.
3-second violation.
We don't see that often, but they do occur.
Deja Simmons into the Knights lineup.
(39-23) Eastridge trailing St. Michael-Albertville in the opening day, the first full day of the 23-24 high school basketball season, which began on Wednesday with a single game. Everyone else, if they're not underway this weekend, they will next week. 5 on the shot clock. STMA dancing around the fence, and nothing doing on that possession. Sane with the bounce pass to Clower.
Well, I'll tell you what,
And the
Clower
finish.
not only with a finish, but with a great defensive play down here on the other
They
end.
leave the
creating
other
that
end
opportunity.
uncontested. Ava House gets on the board. Alex, I don't have to tell you this. When you score, you got to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes the best time for a counter is right after your opponent scores.
Yep.
41-25. In the first game of the new season. Baseline slash pays off for Taylor Clower. The Clowers are doing all right. Everyone else
I
having
didn't
a rough
realize
go
that
of
she
it.
had a sophomore sister. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
Well, I don't think we saw a whole lot of Taylor last year, so I wouldn't blame you. Traveling violation. Eastridge takes over, 41-27. And a few substitutions taking place. St. Michael-Albertville, I don't know what the record will be, but you know they will be tested. Wayzata actually took a game against them in the late conference last year. But Wayzata...
Talk about another team that's had its share of hard luck in sections.
Minnetonka should give them a run. Hopkins. This is Kalia Tagaloso. Eastridge backing off 0-2. 10 on the shot clock. And she throws it away.
Miscommunication there.
Sydney Clower back into the Raptors lineup.
And Eden Prairie, they are not a pushover either. They're going to look a little different. I think the only two that might have a tough time is Edina and Buffalo as we get a foul on 0-2, who is right on top of Jacayla Kraft. And remember, if you haven't been following us in our first game, with the shot clock, the biggest change related to that, the removal of the 5-second call. So you can guard someone closely, you just can't draw a 5-second call out of it. Those are the two big changes. Kraft pulls up. Got it.
Pretty. Tell you, that Eden Prairie team from last year, that was a fun team to watch.
Undersized because of the injury to Savannah Jones, but they made it all the way to state and got bronze, giving the Lake Conference a podium sweep.
I think that statement when they had against Chaska in the section final was nothing short of remarkable.
And Section 2, who knows who will win that group this year? Tara Seifert taking the job at Cretan-Durham Hall. She'll try to build that program up. Minnetonka, you think would be the favorites? Taylor McKinney, or Tori McKinney, I should say, healthy now. Brian Cosgrove at the helm. Prior Lake could be a dark horse there with Bree Bowman. Here's Jacayla Kraft.
All of a sudden, Jacayla Kraft making things look easy.
Kraft, again, really augmenting her stock value last year and going to Seton Hall next year. 3 is short from Clower. Kraft up to 10 points, by the way. St. Michael-Albertville leads 45-27.
Back into the Knights lineup.
Jahnke. Hacked on the way up. To the free throw line she goes.
Crowd number 40, Amelia Ecker, her third, team's fourth. Cail Jahnke is at the line.
Jahnke and her sister own a business that donates 50% of their profits to cancer research. A 3-sport athlete, she also takes up volleyball and track. She's up to 16 points. 0-2. Throws that one away. Alex, this is only one game, which, as you know, is a super small sample size.
Right.
But if I were to make any first impressions, if someone asked me, what would you say, what would you write? I'm thinking this St. Michael-Albertville team may not have one single leader. It could be leading by committee. We've seen Jahnke and Hoselton play well. Kraft, not her best game, but here she is for 3.
And drains it.
Well, she made that game a little bit better.
And that, a lot of times when you lose a player of the caliber that Tessa Johnson was and is, I mean, you kind of have that dilemma into the next season when you're trying to make things do with a group of younger players. Maybe you have a few role players back from last year's team, but a lot of it is done by, as you say, committee.
Cox, bullseye.
Suddenly everything going right now for the Knights.
So Jahnke was 16, Hoselton 15, Kraft with her last 3 goes up to 13. Kaylee Cox now has a couple of triples. And St. Michael-Albertville, they have had a lot of 3-point shooters throughout the last few years. Tessa Johnson, certainly no slouch in that department. And Emma Miller, all 5 feet 1 inches of her.
I tell you what, you talk about a spark plug. There was no better spark plug, particularly at the point guard position like Emma Miller. She's doing a great job now. I believe she's at Minnesota Crookston, if I'm not mistaken. In fact, I think she made Sports Center Top 10 with a Heath baseball pass type shot way beyond the half line.
Here's a more traditional 3-point shot, but Kraft cannot connect on the step back. However, an offensive rebound for Hoselton sets up a 3, also short. Ooh. Okay, Kraft looks to be okay.
Yeah.
It's a traveling call, and you're not going to falter for it, but I was worried because she took a tumble.
Yeah, she took an awkward
like
fall.
She hit her head.
Yeah.
It looked like she hit her head on the hardwood, and that scares me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would scare me no matter who it is. You don't want to see players get hurt.
Yeah.
Especially when you're falling backward and you can't brace yourself. Sane pulls up from 15.
It's been that kind of a day, that kind of an evening here for the Raptors. But, if you're going to have problems, you got to iron out things. Sometimes it's good you got to have an experience like this that isn't so positive and iron out those kinks, and they'll be a lot better come February and March.
Clower faking the 3, moving inside, can't hit the runner from the elbow. Kraft the kick out, Hoselton 3, swish.
Wow.
Again, Alex, one game does not make a season, but complacency, if you're worried about that, I think St. Michael-Albertville has given us a resounding no. That will not be a problem. Lanny Holmes with the putback layup. And some of these players were on the Knights roster 2 years ago, Kraft among them. Jahnke as well, as Simmons launches the 3. That goes off the back iron. You remember how emotional it was 2 years ago when St. Michael-Albertville just couldn't finish the job against Hopkins as Jahnke scores another transition bucket off the steal. You remember the look on Tessa Johnson's face, and Amaya Battle had to come over and console her.
Yeah.
There's a saying that athletes have long memories.
Yep.
It certainly fueled them last year. And for someone like Kraft and Jahnke, Ashley Ellis-Milam will call a timeout, 7:04 left, but this one, in all likelihood, secured by St. Michael-Albertville. I think it's a different story for them because compared to some other schools that have gone on long streaks, you remember De La Salle won 3 in a row, Hopkins won 3 in a row 10 years ago. Hopkins we thought would add a few more, but it didn't quite work out that way. 2020 we'll never know because of you know what, but they won in 2019, 2021. No, they didn't. 22. I'm getting my years crossed. Chaska won in 21. That was the year of the upset.
Yeah.
St. Michael-Albertville, they're used to competing against the higher ups and against the top groups. but compared to like a Providence that has a chance to make it 3 in a row, or others that seemingly win year in and year out, I would think that might fuel them as well, because winning one is hard enough and no one can ever take that away. But even with Tessa Johnson and that senior year that led her to miss basketball, I was surprised at the lack of press or publicity that she got. Maybe Paige Becker spoiled us and set an absurdly high bar.
Yeah.
But she almost slipped under the radar when it came to notoriety. I mean, you're going to South Carolina.
Well, and you know that, and when you think about it,
but she never had a state title either until last March.
Right, and when you sit back and you think about it and you look at that, that almost seems a little unfair, doesn't it?
It seems strange, but Tessa never made it about herself either.
No,
she was always
I think
modest.
that's just the thing.
And Paige was like that too.
Right.
I've noticed a lot of the greats aren't interested in making it about themselves, as Kraft steals the ball against Clower with the shot clock winding down, and Jacayla Kraft with another crafty move for 2.
And it's great to see Paige back at it and back at full strength again after missing out, last year with that ACL injury.
Providence suiting up. They have the floor next. That should be a fun one. Providence Academy and Dowling Catholic. I talked to Dowling's head coach, Kristen Meyer, briefly. She said she watched a little video because Madden Greenway happens to be the state's leading scorer and assist maker last season. Bucket down low for Amelia Ecker. And this will be a lump for Eastridge, Alex, but it's also a good way to figure out, I think you were alluding to this, it's a good way to figure out who you are and what you need to make a deep run. That state tournament slot remaining elusive for Eastridge, and they fielded, again, a lot of talented players through the years. Some didn't stay all 4 years in basketball. Britt Carlson comes to mind. She focused on volleyball and is doing quite well there. But that trio of Canole and Sexy and Tomes, they never got a taste of it. Six on the shot clock. Kraft squeezing through the hole, and a foul. I thought it was going to be traveling at first, but the official signaling the contact right before the shot clock expired.
It's interesting what you said. When you look at a program like Eastridge that has been on the cusp here of getting to the state tournament over the last few years, it really demonstrates how hard it is to not only get to that level, but to get over that and succeed on the big stage.
Officials having to stop play because the shot clock was started prematurely while Jacayla was trying the inbound, so we have to reset again, as everyone was talking about. Part of these growing pains that come with venues that aren't used to a shot clock yet. This event did not use a shot clock before this season. Hamlin did. And I'm guessing all the growing pains that we're seeing here,
we'll probably see them for a little while.
Again, at the venues that haven't used them before.
Right.
Jacayla Kraft can't get the bounce on the pull-up. Eastridge throws the rebound right back to them. Everyone I've talked to, including officials, Jason McGee, who's in this one, I have not met anyone who was opposed to a shot clock. Grant McGinnis, another one. When you look at the style of play and how well these players can run up and down the floor and hang with Providence Academy, look at them and all the points they put up last year. I think it was a natural progression. So you're not going to see those infamous stall ball games like we had years ago, that Marshall-Waseca section game, or the state tournament semifinal with Hopkins and Shakopee boys basketball that went to 4 overtimes.
Yeah.
You're not going to see that anymore. And I am not sad to see that go. I would never complain about teams that stalled because if it's within the rules, I'm okay with it. But I wouldn't say it's in the spirit of the game as STMA will get the timeout call, 4:51 left. They're up 60-31, and again, they've got this win locked up. Overall, I think it will make for a better experience. The teams that I think might struggle the most are the ones that aren't used to playing that kind of tempo. 35 seconds is a long time, but when you're used to maybe longer sets like we saw out of Hill Murray or the Providence of old, the Ray Finley years, that's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
St. Michael-Albertville, again, they already played a full season with a clock. And even the teams that didn't necessarily play fast, White Bear Lake, they play at Hamlin every year. They never had a problem with it.
Right.
As Providence Academy gets set up for our next game. I see that might be a smart thing. Set the iPad up right by the broadcast booth. See if you can pick up any of the commentary. Double duty. Oh, I have to be careful anyway. Remember, I did radio a couple weeks ago. I had to make sure I was within FCC regulations. No, I'll save my George Carlin tributes for later, after dark, after the game. Oh no, I learned early on, always assume the mic is hot. Six on the shot clock, 4:30 to go. St. Michael-Albertville, they've got this one locked up. Vienna Murray with the rebound. And even though this wasn't a great first effort from Eastridge, I am excited to see how Vienna Murray fits into the mold and how it might boost her. Liza Carlin is another player that comes to mind, and we mentioned Kendall McGee earlier. Players that were standout athletes, but on teams where it was difficult to really get yourself out there or reap the benefits of the effort and the talent they possess. I know some folks will gripe about players that move, and sometimes it's, again, you're chasing headlines, you're chasing a title. Other times you have valid reasons for doing so. And seeing Vienna go from a program like Tartan that was struggling to find its footing to a program like Eastridge where she can still play a primary role, but you're also on a team that has a positive trajectory.
Right.
Over time, I think that could offer Eastridge a dynamic, a link they weren't expecting at the end of last season. Liza Carlin, she was the leading scorer and rebounder at St. Paul Central for her 2 years there, but she was the only one they had. St. Paul Central, they really haven't been what they used to be since the Wiggly Taylor years.
Right.
She moved to Stillwater and did quite well and is still doing quite well at Marquette in her senior season. Kendall McGee before the knee injury. Here's Murray with the three from the corner. That rattles out. And so if I'm Eastridge, if I'm Ashley Ellis-Milan or any of the coaches and they look back, watch this game or watch my commentary, if my words mean anything, I would just say don't get discouraged. St. Michael-Albertville, they have a lot of talent, a lot of experience from last year's team. That's going to make it more difficult than you might expect. And for St. Michael-Albertville, they will face their share of challenges. They're in the Lake. And they also will take part in those breakdown invitationals. They're in the Tip-Off Classic every year. They host the Community Clash. So no lack of options there. But I think with STMA, we saw a glimpse of what that new leadership role will look like.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be one player. It certainly wasn't tonight. And in 4A, Alex, you know this, it takes more than one player.
Yep.
You can't get it done with just one player. You can get away with that in 1A and 2A maybe. but not 4A. As we are waiting for this one to finish up. 2:43 left.
Now Kelly Murfeld, her first, team's 5th.
And another timeout.
And the Knights call timeout. It'll be a 30-second timeout.
So looking ahead for the two teams as we have another timeout here. Eastridge, they're in the Suburban East. That conference, maybe not as rugged as it was a year ago, but White Bear Lake, you figure they'll give them a run. Roseville, Tanisha Scott always gets a lot out of her teams. Eastridge will host Robbinsdale Cooper later this season. They also will host Hudson. Eastridge getting the high-low play. Sane to Holmes. Hudson had a solid group a year ago. So there will be a couple of chances for Eastridge to tune themselves up. We'll have to see. Baseline jumper does not drop. Offensive rebound for STMA. That was Haley Walbin on the last attempt.
Oh.
And that's Haley Walbin with the steal and the floater.
Pretty play by the junior.
Stat padding time here. Clower won't add another 3 to her total. Walbin recovers. Inside play and free throws coming for number 22, Callie Murfeld, the junior. Something I wanted to highlight for St. Michael-Albertville as we have free throws here. Ken Hamry runs the social media feeds, and one of the projects he did this year was to revisit some of the alumni. You know, where are you now?
Yep, I've seen that.
Members of the 2009 state tournament team, as Murfeld gets on the board. STMA, they play Davenport North. They will play Prior Lake at the Tip-Off Classic. Prior Lake, one of those sleeper teams. They will host Chanhassen and Burnsville at the Holiday Tournament. They should win both of those games. And at the Community Clash, they will take on Benilde St. Margaret's. We'll have to see if Kendall McGee is back in the lineup at that time. But even without her, as Kevin Anderson pointed out to me, they did win the 3A championship without Kendall. As Kalia took a solo Wilkes. Makes both free throws. Or the three-pointer. I'm trying to keep track of my stats here. And a steal. Tagasolo Wilkes lost the handle. That was Emanuela Sonowo trying to log a highlight. Reserves out on the floor here. Brooklyn Begalki, number 31. Trinity Bickler, 45. 102 left. Alex, I wouldn't say just another ho-hum win for St. Michael-Albertville. This is the kind of performance that speaks to the talent they still have and the determination. I think this was an affirming performance from them as we get our first glimpse of life after Tessa Johnson at the prep level.
And I think not only just for this team, but I think for this coaching staff led by Ken Hamry. I mean, when it comes to coaching and getting the most out of your players and getting them together as a team, I mean, I tell you what, there really aren't many people better in the business than Ken Hamry.
He's won 3 state championships, all at STMA. Elbow jumper offline. STMA can run out the clock here. Ashley Ellis-Milan, no state titles yet, but lots of experience at the coaching ranks, the former Gopher.
And again, if you're Eastridge, I wouldn't put too much into this game. If you're going to make mistakes, make them in November, but I guarantee you that this will be a much better team come mid-February and late February.
We've seen that happen once they get all the new pieces in. It takes a little while for that chemistry to develop. Benilde St. Margaret's, it was like that. The first year Kendall McGee was there.
Yep.
It took them a while to tap into who they truly could be. Eastridge certainly has an opportunity to do the same, but it's St. Michael-Albertville who wins the day, 64-37. A fine triumvirate out of STMA, Cail Jahnke with 18, Abby Hoselton with 18, Jacayla Kraft with 15. And Sydney Clower leading Eastridge with 12. Any final thoughts, Alex?
Again, it's just like I said, just a great performance here by this STMA team. We had some questions coming in, and again, I know it's only November, Thanksgiving time, but I think they answered a few of those questions here in this outing.
It's game 1 out of a possible 32. St. Michael-Albertville beginning their title defense in strong fashion. We'll take another short break. Our next game on our YouTube channel will be Providence Academy and Dowling Catholic as we continue our Twin Cities tip-off Thanksgiving coverage here at St. Thomas Academy.